Hi, this is Heather Rodriguez from naturalfertilityinfo.com and the natural fertility community. And today's video topic is soy and fertility. This is a topic that we have written about in a lot of articles on this site because it's a very important topic. So today I'm going to cover the effects of soy, how it affects both men and women, how it affects children, and also some other dangers found in soy. So basically, soy is a bean that we, in the United States and a lot of other cultures, have made a lot of foods out of. People for a long time have thought this is a health food. Many people think it still is. But the problem with soy is that it contains something called isoflavones. And within isoflavones are something that are called phytoestrogens. And phytoestrogens are basically estrogen-like compounds that mimic estrogen in the body. And this can cause hormonal imbalance because you have the estrogen in your body and then you have the additional phytoestrogens that are mimicking estrogen. So you have a lot of estrogen in your system. And this can cause a lot of different issues that are hormonally based, such as hypothyroidism. It can cause issues with PCOS, endometriosis, a lot of different things. Ovulation, to be another one. So basically, here are some of the things that soy interferes with or has been shown to cause. It can interfere with endocrine function. It can interfere with and cause reproductive issues. It can cause hypospadias, which is a birth defect where the development of the penis is interrupted. It may increase breast cancer in women. It has been shown to be a cause of hypothyroidism. It may reduce the assimilation of nutrients and minerals, and it also has been linked to being one of the causes of premature puberty. So there's a lot of effects of soy on the body, and all of them are hormonally based because of this effect of the phytoestrogens mimicking estrogen in the system. So soy affects women, but it also affects men. There was a study done at Harvard at the Public School of Health, and what this showed was that men who ate only half a serving of soy a day had a 40% decrease in had a 40% decrease in sperm count. So that is huge. Just half a serving of soy per day decreased their sperm count by 40%. So you could imagine if a man is already having a low sperm count or sperm health issues, how losing 40% of his sperm count could really affect his fertility. And this is only with half a serving of soy. So, I mean, half a serving could possibly be like half a veggie burger that's made from soy or half a cup of soy milk. You know, throughout a day, there is so much soy in different products, which we'll talk about in a minute, that half a serving, I mean, you know, a man can easily get that amount. So that's something to think about. It affects both men and women dramatically. The good news is you can avoid soy. Soy is not something that you have to have in your diet in order to survive or to be healthy. But the problem is soy is found in many packaged foods. It's found in breads, it's found in cereals, it's found in even salad dressing, you'll find soy. You can find soy, they make soy cheese, soy milk, soy ice cream now. They make soy bars, all kinds of things out of soy, soy protein powder. So the best way to avoid getting soy in your diet is to really focus on your diet and making a wholesome diet from whole foods that you prepare at home. Now, when you're looking at the ingredients, you also have to remember when you're eating high in the food chain, when you're eating meats and you're eating just various meats, part of their feed is soy. So that's something else to think about. And when they're eating something, they're concentrating it into their meats. They're concentrating into their muscle, into the foods that you'll be eating. So make sure to eat clean, grass-fed meats because they will not be fed soy. The other thing to remember is that soy is a genetically modified food. In the year 2010, over 93% of the soy grown in the United States was Gmo soy. This is huge. Soy is the second most prevalent GMO crop in the United States. The first is corn and the second soy. And both of those are grown basically for either the corn's made for sugar production or both of them are made for animal foods that will produce meat. So, but what most importantly in relation to fertility is they did a study on mice, and there was a group of mice that were fed GMO foods for 20 days, and 20 weeks. And there was another group of mice that were not fed GMO foods for 20 weeks. And the group that ate the GMO foods for 20 weeks had a dramatically reduced fertility. And they also found that the next generation that was born, that did actually become born from those mice, also had greatly impaired infertility. So it was being passed through generations just from the 20 weeks on GMO foods. So 93% of soy GMO, just remember that. And then the other thing I want to talk about is soy use during pregnancy, during breastfeeding, and also in baby formula. When you're consuming a lot of soy during pregnancy, breastfeeding, or if you're giving your child soy formula, this is going into their body. This is going to be affecting how their reproductive organs function, how they grow, how early they hit puberty, a lot of their sexual characteristics. So this can be an issue. There's a lot of studies linked to it. Please do more research. But one of the biggest things is to avoid soy formula. There has been some studies showing that the equivalent of the isoflavones that a child gets, a young infant child gets, on soy formula in a day is equivalent to 4 birth control pills. So that is very serious. And I think the reason for that is because when you make something as soy formula, or a lot of the products that are made out of soy, they're concentrated. They're condensed, and they're made, so you get higher protein content. They take away a lot of the other things, a lot of the moisture and fiber. So it's really condensed food. So you get these dramatic, this dramatic elevation in estrogens. So we get a lot of questions about soy, and these are some of the common ones I'm going to answer here. What about tofu and tempeh? Are they safe to eat during fertility? Tofu and tempeh, for most people, I think is actually a fine food. It's been used, in some cultures for a very long time. The thing is that fermentation does nothing to the isoflavones or the phytoestrogens in the food. It doesn't impact them in any way. So if you're eating for fertility, pregnancy, breastfeeding, if you're in any of those rounds of your life, I would personally suggest to stay away from soy foods of all form, both the man and the woman. Once the child's created, the man can go ahead and eat soy again if he would like. But for his health, I would not suggest very much of it. The second question is, I've been eating soy for years, what should I do? Well, the first thing, of course, is to stop eating soy, start learning how to prepare foods that you love that don't contain soy in them. There's a lot of things you can find on the market now if you read labels, really looking at the labels and knowing what the different ingredients are and where soy shows up as. There is one ingredient, though, that from what I've read in the studies, that it does not have an effect, which is soy lecithin. You'll find that in some supplements. You'll find that in some, in some health food products as an emulsifier. And this is a component taken from soy, which does not contain phytoestrogens. FYI. And the last question is, I'm a vegetarian. How can I get my protein without soy? Well, there's a lot of different ways to get protein as a vegetarian without soy. You're going to want to try some other beans. You'll want to drink some green juices. If you drink green juices, the protein in them is concentrated. You can eat sprouted foods. You can eat, have some rice, some whole grain sprouted breads. You can have raw dairy, raw cheese, kefir, yogurt. There's a lot of ways to get adequate protein on a vegetarian diet as long as you're focused on your foods and you know that you're eating whole foods and you're not just eating a junk food vegetarian diet. So that is my video on soy. I hope you found that very helpful. And if you have any questions, just let us know. There's a lot more research done than what I covered in this short video. Please do some more research, learn for yourself, make the decision for yourself. But I just wanted to bring this to your attention and make you all aware. And I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.